Emotional detachment. How can it prevent content creator burnout? That is a great question. I'm Angela Brown, and I am a content creator, and this is my journey back from burnout, and I'm recovering myself. So this is day 28, and I am in an interesting, I lied, this is day 27. Can I start that over again? I'm Angela Brown, and this is day 27 of Content Creator Burnout. And I am myself recovering from burnout. Today, we're going to talk about emotional detachment. Now, we've talked a whole bunch over the last couple of weeks about different things like conflict resolution and forgiveness and being grateful for people and celebrating the wins of other people. But there's this dirty little secret that we don't talk about as content creators, and that is getting involved in the dramas that come our way while we're trying to create content. Okay. It's a real issue, and it comes from families. It comes from friends. It comes from people that we're doing brand deals with, and it comes from some of our clients. It can also come from our team members or employees. So we have to be consciously aware of the fact that as we are trying to do deals with people, that they are business deals and they are not personal transactions. And so we don't want to get wrapped up in the emotional energy of all of the different deals that we're trying to do. So emotional detachment is us stepping one step back and looking at it from an objective point of view and saying, well, this is a transaction. Therefore, I'm going to treat it like a business transaction, and I'm not going to get so emotionally involved. Now, I told you the other day that I picked up 2 new children's books as a contract with Lifelong Productions. So I'm really excited about that. But as we started to progress through the process of publishing those books, suddenly the people that were involved in those books got really emotionally involved. Now, both of those contracts, while they were exciting and fun projects, and in a perfect world, they would just move forward with ease, both of the projects had a lot of emotional attachments connected to them from the people working on them. Now, I have to realize I do business every day and we do lots of transactions. And for these people, this was the one project that they were working on. And because they only had one project, they'd invested all their energy into it. So they wanted to make sure that everything was 100% perfect a specific way. And neither of those parties wanted to sign a contract. And because there were previous promises that had been made and whatever with one of the specific contracts, the first one that came to me took a lot of unraveling to do because there were 3 people that thought they owned the copyrights to it. And there were a whole bunch of emotional frustrations and anxieties and things that then came to light. And I'm not a mediator and an arbitrator and all those things. And we're a book publisher. We can help them publish their books, but they're going to need to go hire a mediator or an attorney or something if they want to go down the road they were going down. So we're here to help you and we want to resolve everything, but let's not go all fancy and unravel the last 8 years of y'all fighting with each other. And this, the reason it never saw the light of day, right? We don't want any of that. So with emotional detachment, what we're saying is, hey, we have boundaries and we want to make sure that moving forward, everything is in writing. Now, nobody wanted to sign anything. Nobody wanted to put anything in writing. And we said, we're not moving forward with any of our projects until everything is in writing. That's going to protect us. It's going to protect all of you. And with specifics, all the contracts protected every single person along the way, right? But the emotional attachment then is we have to remove the drama because we can't focus on when there's a lot of drama, and we can't move a project forward when there's a lot of drama. And the drama will keep you awake at night, and it will cause anxiety, and it will cause stress, and it will make you hate your projects, and it will make you hate the people that you're working with. Now, I've been in the cleaning industry for the last 32 years. And as a house cleaner, I train house cleaners and maids all over the world. That's what I do for my big job. That's my main job. But what happens is a house cleaner goes into a house and they clean and they're putting their heart and soul into it. And this is the one house they're cleaning. So they're really emotionally involved. The homeowner comes in and is like, you missed a spot. You're like, whoa, I just cleaned the whole entire house and it looks amazing. How about you focus on all the amazing things I did in your house instead of the one thing that I missed behind the bathroom door? Right. So there's this emotional intensity where that cleaner gets all bent out of shape and they take it really personally. So my conversation to you today, to prevent this from happening in your business that creates burnout and it makes you hate your projects and hate your clients, we have to take one step back. It's called disengagement. And that means when there's a kerfluffle or a frustration that comes up, we want to take a step back and we want to say, hey, I understand this person paid a whole lot of money to get their house cleaned, or they're paying a lot of money to have a book produced. So they want a specific result. That's fair. I agree with that. And while we do this all day, every day for a living, this is the first time they're doing it. So we have to put it in terms like, they're kind of new to the process. So we're going to give them a little bit of leeway. Then I want us to flip the script for a second. And I want us to look at, do we have boundaries in place? Because the boundaries will keep them from calling us at 11 o'clock at night saying, oh, hey, did so-and-so sign the contract so my book project can move forward? So what we've done is we've put everything out at a distance. And what we did was we used the Google Keep files. And I don't know if I've explained that to you or not. I don't remember, but the Google Keep file is amazing. And if you don't use Google Keep files, it's 100% free. You can use it on any device, whether it's a phone, a tablet, or a computer. It is part of the Google suite where you log in, go to Google, go to Chrome. There's a little keypad in the top. If you go to that keypad, it's like 9 little dots. You click on that and a bunch of little apps appear. You're looking for the yellow one with a light bulb. That's Google Keep. Think of it as a glorified checklist. Every project we do has a Google Keep file, and everybody that is part of that project is added with their email address at the bottom of the Keep file. That way, all the contracts that are in place, it's just like a checklist. We say, hey, we need so-and-so to sign this contract, and there's a hyperlink to that contract. And so they can click on the hyperlink. It opens up the file. They sign and fill out the electronic file. Once it's submitted, we can take that off the checklist just by checking it off. And when you click the checklist, it goes to the bottom of the Keep file. Then everyone that's part of the project can just look and see who signed the contracts and who hasn't. And then if someone wants to add a picture or an illustration or something like that, they can take a snapshot of it and they can add it to the Keep file. That way it can be downloaded into the proper files. Everybody has a copy of it. It can go wherever it's supposed to go. But if we have a shared Google Drive, the link to that is on the Keep file. If we have a Lingo book, the Lingo book is where we keep all of the digital assets. All of that, the link to that is right inside the Keep file. And so we don't have to keep emailing each other and texting each other back and forth. It's keeping the deal at arm's length. But then everybody as part of the project can see what's happening at all times. So if somebody hasn't signed a contract, we don't have to jump in and go, oh, so-and-so didn't sign the contract, right? It's emotional detachment. It's keeping us at arm's length from all the drama and all the chaos. Now, the next part of it is by maintaining those personal boundaries, what happens is we can keep everything on the project flowing smoothly. Excuse me, I've got a cold here. But it keeps everything running smoothly. And what it does is it allows the team members that are working on the project to then see at a glance what's happening, so that it prevents them from getting all stirred up and why hasn't this person signed this, or whatever, and then coming back and puking all of that drama on us. We don't want that because we're the content creators. And so whenever you have a brand deal, if you will keep like a Google Keep file that manages all of the emotions and the projects and the timeline of your project, what that does is that prevents a lot of energy being sucked out of your project that can come at all these different directions from all these other people that are involved, right? Another thing that it allows us to do when we disengage from the drama is it allows us to sustain our workflow. So we have a project we're working on. We know exactly where we are in the process. Then we can work on the next project and know exactly where we are in the process. And at any given time, I may have 100 Keep files going on. from different YouTube shows to different podcasts to different things that are happening, and I know what my responsibility is. So my responsibility is to jump in each of those keep files and manage those projects and make sure that everybody that's supposed to do that, their stuff, is doing it properly. So when the drama hits, stop and take a step back. And we just don't want to get involved. Okay. I'm not saying walk away from it, but I'm saying let's learn to manage it by disengaging, by disempowering and taking the fuel out of the fire. And that's by us being organized and us following a specific system. Now, that said, there will always be someone in part of a deal. I don't know why, but there always seems to be one person that kind of screams louder than everyone else. And so in this, like this particular children's book, somebody called me yesterday and they just puked all this gobbledygook and anger and anxiety and frustration. And it comes from a place of fear. They've had this project unraveled for 8 years. And so they are afraid that they're going to go another 8 years and for some reason it's going to fall apart. Actually, the only person that would make it fall apart is the person that was causing the fuss. They're the person that's the fuss maker that no one wants to work with. Okay. So I understand that frustration. So what we have to do is we have to diffuse it. We have to say, hey, listen, you're in good hands. You came to us. We have a reputation for getting projects done. You want to win an award. We have a reputation for winning awards. We're really good at what we do. You gave the project to us. And so trust that we're going to do our job, right? It's okay for you to have frustrations, but you can relax knowing that now you've turned it over to a good team. So the important thing is that we diffuse it. And then next of all, this also translates over to, let's say, for example, YouTube comments and social media comments where trolls come at us. And there will always be people that hate us as well. And so when we talk about disengaging and diffusing, we have a personal policy at Savvy Cleaner, and that's the company that I have, that we don't engage with trolls. And so when people come at us and they're like, oh, we hate you, or you did this, and they try to defame you and, tell stories about you and shame you or whatever, we just walk away. We don't try to justify ourselves. We don't try to defend ourselves. We don't try to prove that they're wrong and we're right. That's just a lot of energy that gets sucked out of your creative process. And so if someone hates you, that's fine, and they will. But what you have to realize is in the process, everyone is allowed their own emotions. And so if they get all tangled up and like, and they come at you, if you just diffuse that and you don't answer and you don't respond and you don't participate, it just makes them look like an idiot. And then you can go about your creativity and don't let it eat you up. Don't let it, mess with your head or anything. Walk away. The reason this is so important is because if you learn to walk away, you retain all of your creative juice and all of your power, and then you can move forward. And as time goes on, you get a reputation for not being a bully. But I'll tell you this, and this is a true story. There are people that are content creators that I will not work with. And I will not, under any circumstance, take on any of their projects. I will not represent them. I don't want anything to do with them because of the way they defend themselves in public. They are brutal and mean and unkind to other people. And I don't want any association with that whatsoever. And so there are people that are like, oh, I'm going to justify myself. Do not do that. Because what you don't know is you're burning so many bridges with future deal makers that are either part of brand collaborations or they are part of production help, like what Lifelong Productions is. We won't take on a specific group of people, and we've got a blacklist. These people are not kind to work with at all. We do not want to work with them. And so if they come to us, and a couple of them have, we've quietly dismissed them and recommended someone else to get them away from us. I don't want my team to have to interact with them, right? If you find yourself in a sticky situation where there's a lot of drama and chaos, stop and back up and back away and learn to disengage and diffuse the situation if you do take on the client, because you don't want that following you around and you don't want them tormenting your team. All right, that is our message for today. Now, I want you to leave your questions and your comments in the notes below because you probably have an opinion on what I just said. Ha! All right, let me give you a quick update on how I'm doing, and then I'll let you get back to your day because I do respect your time. The content creator does not get by without sleep. And I've been 3 to 3.5 hours over the last couple of weeks, and I'm getting better at that because I realized that the half hemisphere of my brain that works during the day, the other half works during the night. I'm focusing now on getting more sleep. I got 6 hours and 55 minutes of sleep yesterday, which is record breaking for me. So I'm really happy about that. The next thing I want to report back on is my hydration. And hydration is super important so that your brain and your body work exactly as it's supposed to. And that comes from you drinking plenty of fluids. So that's really important for me. I'm at 112 ounces for yesterday. The intermittent fasting is a little bit of a tweak for me. I've been going 20 to 24 hours, eating a meal, and then going back to fasting again. And it's done really well for me for a couple of weeks. I listened to a podcast the other day by, I believe, Mindy Peltz, who is a advocate, if you will, for intermittent fasting. And I will leave links in the show notes to her book. I think it's called Fast Like a Girl. And she also has a YouTube channel that's just really profound. One of the things that she mentioned in a podcast I was listening to yesterday is that our bodies are designed back in the caveman days to go out and look for food. And sometimes we look for food and we find it, and sometimes we don't. And our body is set up to adjust to a fluctuating schedule. But if we get on a routine where we do the same thing every day, we reach a plateau. And she was talking about weight loss and intermittent fasting and how it can reach a plateau. And that's weird because I reached a plateau. I lost 16 pounds and then I kind of like got stuck. And although I was building muscle by working out every day, I wasn't losing any more weight. And my goal was to lose 40 pounds that I put on during menopause. And so her goal was fluctuate the patterns. So if instead of just fasting 20 hours every day and having it be a set thing, fast for 13 hours one day, and the next day make it 18 hours, and then 11 hours, and then 20 hours, and then 48 hours, and break it up so that your body then doesn't just store the one meal that you eat during the day as like hanging on to it for dear life because it doesn't know when the next meal is coming. And that made perfect sense. I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense. So last night, not when I was going to normally eat, I ate a salad last night, which takes us to our nutrition, which is what are you eating when you're eating? So over the last couple of days, I've gotten really good at eating healthier things. And so right now I'm paying a lot of attention to the nutrition and reducing things like condiments and salad dressing and stuff like that. Nothing with any preservatives in it. So I've done really, really good over the last 27 days. So I'm really excited about that. All right, the next thing is my workouts. I did not work out yesterday because yesterday is Saturday. It was a weekend, and I'm not working out at the gym on the weekend because it doesn't open until later in the morning. But I have one of those little mini trampolines inside my office. And so on Saturdays and Sundays, I'm jumping on my little mini trampoline in 90-second spurts. So I take a break every hour on the hour, and I jump up and I run, go jump on the trampoline, and I get my body and my blood circulating, and then I take a break. So it's kind of like all out massive action for 90 seconds. And I do that all throughout the day. So I was still able to burn 2,100 calories yesterday, 2,160 for calories for just working out inside my house, which was awesome. So I'm fluctuating that a little bit and stirring up the pot. All right. So then the next thing looking at is my moods and my attitudes. And my moods and my attitudes are doing very well, which is really, really important when I talk about detaching from the emotional detachment, like what we were talking about earlier, where somebody comes at you and they just puke all this anxiety and frustration and drama on you. And then you're expected to like catch it and then manage it and then go out about your content creation. That's kind of tough. So by having my attitude in the right place, I was completely able to diffuse some of the situations yesterday without losing the client and without losing their sense of, you know, they're wanting to be in control. And that's important for them because this is their project. All right, the next thing is the progress that we've made. I am really excited because we were able because of templates that we use and because of the experience we have in the past to pull together all the contracts that we needed. We unraveled 8 years of gobbledygook and family drama, all with legal contracts. We were able to get new contracts in place yesterday, and today the project will probably go all the way through to where then we turn it back to the client and say, hey, give us your final approval. Theoretically, it could go to press as early as tomorrow. So with a 2 or 3 day window, we're going to be able to get this children's book published, which is exciting. And that would be the progress for me. And right on the heels of that came a second contract. They worked on that all over the weekend. And so we've got all of our contracts in place for that today. They're probably a couple of days behind the other project. But literally within a week's time, we could have 2 children's books come through our business and published and out the door, which is record breaking. So I'm really excited for that. All right, then the next thing are the challenges that we have to talk about, because no project happens without challenges. Those challenges are the challenges we just mentioned, where you have other people that become part of a project and they're bringing their own filters and their own belief systems and their own interactions and the way that they communicate with other people. And that is not always the same way that we communicate with other people. And so there has to be kind of a balancing act where we can kind of manage all of that at a professional level so that we can improve the relationships moving forward. In the event that we can settle everything and make everything work, we will get future business. And I don't want to say, well, we don't want future business from people like this. What I want to say is if we can manage the process for a very short window in time, it could be lucrative to everyone involved for the rest of forever. So can we get this little glitch worked out so that we can work together forever? I'm hoping the answer is yes. All right. So if you have not followed me already, follow me at lifelongproductions.com/burnout. That's BURNOUT. That's where I'm documenting this process. I'm on day 27 and I myself am recovering from burnout. I want to say I'm completely healed from burnout. And we are back to the races full force because of the few things that we learned over the last couple of weeks. And I want to give a shout out to lifelongproductions.com, who's not only producing the children's books that we talked about, but they're also the sponsor of this show. They're paying for me to be here so that I can give you this information for free. If you are a content creator and you need help either publishing your children's books or any book for that matter, we have a whole entire department that is set up to help you do that. Also, they can help you set up and monetize your YouTube channel or your podcast or your blogs or any of the content that you're creating. So there are a variety of different ways that we can help you, but we don't want you to reach burnout because you didn't know how to either monetize your business or you got stuck and you got hung up and you didn't know what the next steps were. So you do not have to go at this alone. Now, I do want to remind you, if you are a content creator, there are 2 things that are really important to remember. You're a content creator because you have a voice. You have something to say and your voice matters. You need to be heard. The second thing that I want you to be aware of is that the message that you're delivering is important and you are enough. So go out there and deliver your message. And if you need help, let us help you. But until we meet again, remember, you matter and you are enough.